know what you're looking at? That's the Emerald Theater in Mount Clemens, Michigan. There's a reason why we're showing you that picture this early morning in Michigan. Welcome back to CBS This Morning. President Trump won Michigan by a razor-thin margin. That was back in 2016. And both the president and Joe Biden are now focused on turnout there. This election, Michigan is one of the 3 crucial battleground states Tony is visiting this week for our series. We're calling it At America's Crossroads. So he's been traveling in an RV to meet real-life voters who could decide this election. And now, just over 2 weeks, 15 days and counting. Let's go back to Tony in Mount Clemens, Michigan. That's why we showed you the theater. That's outside Detroit. Tony, good morning again to you.
Hey, good morning, guys. I should say we are traveling in the RV, but not sleeping in the RV. So I arrived pretty put together this morning, and I've got an interesting fact for you. Most people in Michigan woke up unhappy about the results of the 2016 election. Of course, that is at least according to their votes. Now, how do I know? Well, because Donald Trump won here with only 47% support. That's a minority in an election where hundreds of thousands of people cast their ballot for a third-party candidate or did not vote at all. So now Democrats, including Michigan Governor Gretchen Whitmer, are focused on 2 things: turning out voters in Detroit and winning the suburbs for Joe Biden.
Hi.
Michigan Governor Gretchen Whitmer spent part of this past weekend going door to door.
Healthcare for all is very important to me.
With dog treats in her pocket.
Here's a little treat.
Hearing from voters in Oakland County, Michigan.
What is the most important thing?
The pandemic. I'm a physician, and the handling of the pandemic has been horrific.
It's part of a get-out-the-vote effort in a ring of crucial suburban areas surrounding Detroit, and a sign of how competitive this race has become. Until this month, the Biden campaign had put a coronavirus-related pause on door knocking, while the Trump campaign had not.
They're very proud of their ground game. They say they've been knocking on doors long before you guys started doing this.
I can't tell you what they've been doing. I can tell you we've been taking this pandemic seriously.
The Biden campaign also seriously knows it needs to do better here than Hillary Clinton did 4 years earlier, losing by the thinnest margin of any state, less than 11,000 votes.
So what's your theory of what happened in 2016? Why did turnout fall from 2012 for the Democrats?
Michiganders did not come out and vote. I mean, it was a historically low election.
Yeah, Donald Trump won with a minority. He only got 47% or so.
We don't have tidal waves here in Michigan, but I do think that this year is going to dwarf anything we've ever seen. And I think that bodes well for Joe Biden, and I think it bodes well for Michigan.
Donald Trump has been not knocking on doors, but at his rallies bringing up the suburbs all the time.
Yeah.
We saved suburbia in the U.S.
He says he saved the suburbs. Suburbs like these.
These suburbs didn't need to be saved, though, and the people who call these suburbs home care as much about equity, care as much about ensuring every child has a path to a good education. They care about every family being able to drink their water and about climate change. So those dog whistles don't really land when you're really talking to voters here.
40 minutes away in Detroit, Michigan's Republican chairwoman Laura Cox says a few gubernatorial door knocks this late in the election is no match for the GOP's turnout operation. The campaign claims to have knocked on 1 million doors in Michigan alone.
We're in a great place. We're going to win again for the president and the vice president. The enthusiasm is palpable.
Get out and vote. Thank you. Thank you.
But we noticed a different kind of enthusiasm scrawled across the wall of the GOP's Black Voices headquarters here.
When you talk about enthusiasm or emotion here, what does that graffiti tell you?
It tells me that we're getting under their skin and our messages are resonating and they're worried.
Detroit is the largest majority black city in America, and perhaps the biggest single reason Donald Trump triumphed in Michigan in 2016. Hillary Clinton won the county by a landslide, but with 76,000 fewer votes than Barack Obama. Which is why we stopped by a voter registration event hosted by Detroit Action, a community group trying to bring more voters to the polls. That's where we found musician Mike Phelps, who says last election he didn't even bother with voting. Didn't see the point.
Where were you in 2016?
At home. America has had a history of promising change to certain groups and them never seeing that change.
Now he says the stakes are clear, and not only to him.
All of my friends who never really get into politics are all in it right now. They're going to vote, they registered, they're voting for home, voting at the polls. Like, I've seen a lot more excitement.
Mike Phelps is a very interesting guy. In fact, very talented musician. We were almost late for our conversation with Gretchen Whitmer because we hung around to watch him finish his set there. The other thing I'd add about Mr. Phelps is he really represents what could be a turning point in this election. He says it's not that the president has affected his life, but he's become very aware, guys, about how the president has affected other people's lives. That has woken him up. That's why he's going to the polls. If other people have that same realization, we could see a landslide in one direction or another here in 2020.
Yeah, Tony, listen, people are enthusiastic on both sides is what I'm finding. I don't care.
That's right.
You're for it.
And the
People
early
are really
voting
jazzed
numbers
about
are
both.
astonishing. I mean,
About
they really
both.
are. Yeah.
I do wish every time I hear the president say, I've saved the suburbs, I always wish he would finish that sentence. Save the suburbs from what? I always want to know what's the last part of that sentence. Save the suburbs from what? All right, Tony. I know.
Tony doesn't have an answer.
Am I supposed to answer? I'm not sure. I can't read his mind, Gail.
Exactly. I'm not trying to put you on the spot, Tony, or even asking you to finish the sentence. That's what everybody goes. Save this, and it's crickets. Nobody can finish it. Thank you, Tony Dokoupil.